Now, is this the actual coat that we're looking at here?
That is the actual coat. This coat was in Chasing Amy. This hoodie was in Clerks. The hat was in Clerks. This hat was in Dogma, and that hat was in Mallrats. And then the jewel in the crown here is the Quick Stop.
This is the actual sign, right?
It's the actual sign, but if you drive 15 minutes, you can go to the actual Quick Stop.
I think one of the most fantastic things about New Jersey is its close proximity to Manhattan. Right now, we are in the city that never sleeps. You could take a bridge, one of two tunnels, and you're transported from Manhattan, the Empire State, to New Jersey, the Garden State, in a matter of minutes. New Jersey, the Garden State, is geographically quite small, the fourth smallest in the nation, in fact, but its landmass packs a diverse, powerful punch and a proud population home to nearly 9 million residents. Among them are Giants and Devils, Jets and Jets, Blue Sky, Sky Blue, Red Bulls, and of course, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, who resides in the quaint borough of Red Bank in Monmouth County.
After you, Governor.
Thank you, sir.
He says this is the best coffee in town.
Absolutely.
You're looking for coffee, this is your place.
I like my coffee like I like my governor's. Hot.
The cold brew, poured over at Rook Coffee, can only be enjoyed throughout their 11 New Jersey locations, where each cup is a work of art.
Oh, look at that.
Put the banana on the side.
there, you
I love
guys.
that, Johnny B.
They drew the state of New
Look at the
Jersey.
state of New Jersey. Thank you so much.
I can see now why you love this place so much.
New Jersey's the quintessential small town state. It's the best state in America to raise a family. We got 565 communities. The biggest community in the whole state, we got 9 million people, is 300,000, Newark.
No kidding.
So it's unlike a Boston or a New
Yep.
York where you've got, one big city that really drives the population. That's not the case here.
While being from Massachusetts, you decided to settle here in not just New Jersey, but Red Bank with your family.
Yeah, this particular area, the Two Rivers area, is special. The Navasink, which is right ahead of us, and the Shrewsbury, which is behind us. We're only about 3 or 4 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. Great quality of life, great schools, great restaurants, theater, you name it.
My experiences in New Jersey have always been absolutely incredible, including today.
It's a state that has a character, a grit, a fight, a determination, a resilience, unlike any other American state. We're Jersey, man.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
There you go.
If the independently owned businesses of Broad Street create a familiar movie set backlot come-to-life vibe, film director Kevin Smith and his comedic muse, Jason Mewes, would agree.
Snoochie booches.
Which is why Red Bank and New Jersey at large play a pivotal part in their collective filmography, and why the two have established permanent roots here with their comic book store, Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. I've got to say, right now, gentlemen, I feel like I'm living out every comic book nerd's dream being here with the two of you.
This is the world's most famous comic book store, we like to say, because, think of another one, right? See?
Give me a second.
Takes too long.
What is it about Red Bank and New Jersey in general that's so special to you?
I love that we grew up here. I love living in LA, but I don't know, like Halloween, you can't just go out your door and walk down the street like when we grew up. It's nice to have this store here, so there's a reason to come back.
This is home. This is where I'm from. This is the motherland.
Now, is this the actual coat that we're looking at here?
That is the actual coat. This coat was in Chasing Amy. This hoodie was in Clerks. The hat was in Clerks. This hat was in Dogma, and that hat was in Mallrats. And then the jewel in the crown here is the Quick Stop.
This is the actual sign, right?
It's the actual sign, but if you drive 15 minutes, you can go to the actual Quick Stop.
You're obviously doing something right. Even in the midst of a pandemic, this place seems to be very well received.
That's Red Bank, man. You can catch people who are like, I've never heard of this. I don't know who you are. I've never seen one of your movies, but now I'm interested.
Kevin and Jay love their fans, and that's a big thing. They never forget who put them where they are.
Mm-hmm. As a fan, as someone who's seen all his movies, Clerks being one of those coming-of-age movies, it's pretty cool. Featured in Kevin's film Chasing Amy, Jack's Music Shop has been a staple here in Red Bank since 1969. And because you can't mention New Jersey without getting Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi, lucky us, we've got them both. Records, that is.
You still see those guys a lot?
I see Bruce occasionally.
Bon Jovi, the band, and the guy signed this guitar.
Bruce signed this to the store. Max Weinberg actually gave us these two.
Yeah, that is Max, huh?
Yeah, he had an office in town, was getting rid of stuff.
So this really is like a hotbed for musicians, isn't it?
Yeah.
And owner Jack Anderson, as well as store manager Tim Cronin, are fixtures within the shop they've curated throughout the decades.
How important is it to you to keep this store open and continue allowing people to buy music the old-fashioned way with vinyl and CDs?
Well, I enjoy buying the used stuff. I really get a kick out of it.
This is a pretty substantial collection you got here. What do you think it is that has kept this business here sustainable, even now when music is mostly consumed digitally?
Well, I mean, there's still enough people who want vinyl and CDs, and with more stores going out of business, the ones that stay pick up all that slack.
It really is cool. I mean, with the coffee shops, the restaurants, the comic book store, this music store, it really is like a very eclectic area, and I can see why it's not only popular for people to come here and visit, but for residents like yourself to put roots down and not leave.
It's what I know. I've got my whole life and fate tied to this town.
Home.
It's home.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thomas Edison, one of, if not the world's most brilliant and gifted inventors, established not one, but two laboratories in New Jersey. The incandescent light bulb, the motion picture camera and film, the phonograph were all created here. And today, that entrepreneurial spirit is once again thriving in the birthplace of modern invention.
Newark is known as the gateway city. What does that mean to you?
I would like to change that to the destination city.
Okay.
Gateway has connotations of we're going to just pass through. It's high time that folks really start to look at Newark more as a destination for the activities, for the dining, as a place to work, as a place to live.
And Aisha Glover is at the forefront of that call to action.
How does this area of New Jersey coincide with the mission of Audible?
Audible is proudly headquartered in the city of Newark. We moved to Newark in 2007 because we really wanted to contribute to the local economy and make sure that we're acting as a real anchor in the community, that we're not just this disconnected corporation that happens to be in Newark. We want to be part of it today and where it's heading.
Housed within an 80,000 square foot church, the Innovation Cathedral, as it's now known, is a beacon bridging past with present and future, as Audible research manager and Newark historian Manny Ann Toons explains.
Newark is a city full of beautiful buildings, and we didn't want to be that kind of company that came in and just knocked it down and built another office tower. We want to preserve the history that was here, while also just updating it and turning it into a space that is worked in and loved in.
If you think about really the meaning of innovation and helping to fill a void of what's still needed, you're building upon something that's already there.
They don't make them like they used to.
No, they don't.
How is Audible contributing to making Newark the destination city?
First of all, we're the fastest growing employer in the city of Newark, but we're also thinking about our neighborhood investments and how we're contributing to the tech and innovation ecosystem. Our founder, Don Katz, founded Newark Venture Partners to create a bunch of little Audibles in the city of Newark. We have literally thousands of companies from all over the world trying to get into MVP every year, and we're helping to incubate them. Many have kind of graduated and permanently planted their roots in the city of Newark. They're creating jobs now, and that's exactly what we want. We want to attract the talent, the tech, the industry, and then we want to make sure that there is a connection to job creation and a greater benefit to the city of Newark.
Among those companies is the sustainable indoor aeroponic agricultural venture known as Aero Farms, located in the Ironbound section of Newark, New Jersey.
This area, the Ironbound district, used to be famous for steel and smelting plants. You've created a plant here of a completely different variety.
We're actually in an old converted steel factory here. Welcome to the largest vertical farm in the world.
Wow. Your roots haven't always been planted in agriculture, correct? You were a tech guy?
Yeah, my last company was nanotech to internet infrastructure to fintech.
What made you want to take that leap from technology and apply it to agriculture?
I love disruptive technologies. I love industries where there's a lot of inefficiencies. We're understanding biology at levels never been understood before, and we're using that knowledge to be better farmers, to give the plant what it wants. If we could grow more plants with less inputs, we're doing more with less, we're having a more positive impact on the environment.
This is more than just a way to grow produce. This is a way to change the world.
And CEO David Rosenberg is starting from the ground up.
We changed not just nutrients, but what are the nutrients, micronutrients, not just water, but the absence of it, the direction of airflow, all these environmental stresses to understand a plant and get it the best it could be. And it shows up in the taste and textures.
That tastes like a delicious tomato. Tell me a little bit about the impact that Aero Farms is having on New Jersey.
First, there's a great ecosystem of universities that we tap into. Secondly, we inspire our community. Hey, I could build my company, I could plant my flag in Newark. It helps create that tech innovation ecosystem. Third, we're hiring locally.
Like Steve Genty, who is charged with overseeing more than 35 million plants.
I actually started out in the seeding department. After a couple of months, I was moved up to horticulture, then R&D. Most recently, I was promoted to the head grower of this farm.
So in a way, you and these greens here have something in common. You both have started as a seed, and now you've grown to the head honcho, the head grower.
Absolutely. Me and these plants have a special relationship.
This sounds like this could very well solve a lot of the problems that we're facing with hunger, with climate change, with poverty. I mean, this is a huge step forward to, I think, really reversing a lot of the effects that we've had.
The way we could come here and have impact in the daily lives of people in Newark, how we could inspire people in Newark, how we could alleviate a food desert, how we could give jobs to people of Newark, it's part of our mission.
The town of Princeton is synonymous with education. Father of the theory of relativity, Albert Einstein walked these streets. Game theory was authored by economist and mathematician John Nash in these hallowed halls. Nobel laureates, avant-garde thinkers, geniuses. When one thinks of Princeton, there's only one school that comes to mind.
We're gonna learn lots of fun stuff today? All right.
I wanted to give my daughter the gift of language because it's really something that can never be taken from her.
你好。
谢谢，强尼你好。
你好。
大家说强尼你好。
You put your kids in here and they come out speaking, reading, writing, like fluent language skills.
好，来，这个是强尼香蕉花。强尼香蕉你好。
Inghua International School is a nonprofit educational institution that provides its students with the comprehensive Chinese immersion curriculum.
If you can speak to more than 1 billion people in English and in Mandarin, you can speak to the world.
我很好。
我很好。
谢谢你。
谢谢你。
来，3、2、1。
But the immersion here, I think it goes beyond learning another language. They're actually learning education in Mandarin.
哦，哇，强尼的名字可能要到，想一想哦。大家说谢谢强尼。谢谢强尼。
Our goal and the target for immersion is to use Chinese not only just to write, to say, but also to use Chinese to think.
So the immersive experience isn't just language, it's experiential as well.
Absolutely.
地球可不可以发光？
地球。
地球。
Earth. 地球 is Earth.
The teaching is predicated on an IB curriculum, which encourages students to really think about who they are as learners and how they learn best.
And what is IB?
International Baccalaureate.
It is a globally recognized program, and usually when you graduate with an international baccalaureate from high school, etc., you pretty much can write a ticket to any college.
The ground is lava!
And so parents residing in Princeton and throughout New Jersey at large are enrolling their children in pre-K as early as 18 months, with classes continuing until the 8th grade.
每个同学都有一个牙刷，那有一个同学没有牙刷，可以用这个刷子也可以。
We're brushing our teeth?
We have more non-Chinese families who are enrolled in our school compared to the heritage Chinese learners.
And why do you think that is?
Because the people they meet are from different perspectives and background experiences. So it's kind of just like naturally they become interculturally competent.
The education they're getting is not just what they're learning in the classroom out of a textbook, but what they're learning about their peers and about their friends and about their community.
We cannot expect them to feel a part of this world if they have no exposure to the world. It has to be something that you live by. We look like United Colors of Benetton here. This is our real life.
自传，3、2、1，开始。自传。
Just foster that sense of belonging, that sense of, hey, I care for you, you care for me, and we learn from each other. It's beautiful to watch.
And do the children feel seen? Do they feel heard? Do they feel a sense of community? Do they feel a sense of belonging? And I believe all of our children do here at Inghua, and I think that people do in the town of Princeton also. I love Princeton. Yeah. It's the perfect place to be, and I feel so fortunate that this is my home.
有8个兄弟姐妹住在家庭里。
有8兄弟姐妹住进家庭里。
很棒，很棒，不错，不错，不错。
Thank you.
What you crave is peace, calm, and tranquility. Then the seaport village at the southern tip of New Jersey is the solution you seek. Welcome to Cape May. And smack dab at the city's literal and figurative center is the historic Hotel Congress Hall, the first of its kind in the country.
What does Congress Hall mean to you, and how important is it to your individual lineage?
The guys that owned this in the 60s were failing. My grandfather bought it in 1968, so I was at the cash register and I was 8, 9, 10 years old and got official jobs when I was 15, 16, and 17, and then came back and bought it in 1995 out of a bankruptcy situation. I loved it and wanted to fix it up. And to pull that off 25 years later was cool.
It's got to feel amazing.
A lot of history here.
Curtis Bashaw is an entrepreneur, a hotelier, a restaurateur, and a dedicated philanthropist with a deep-rooted connection to this locality.
What is it about Cape May that has brought people here for generations, continues to, and is actually growing in popularity?
The simple pleasures of being in a place that feels like a throwback, but is not. We're not living in these buildings like museums. Mm-hmm. We're living in them today.
Like homes, yeah.
And people relax.
Yeah.
They just feel good. You can be at the beach, you can be at a farm, you can be at the historic district. You don't need to get in a car. People will say hi, hello, how are you? And it does take you back in time. It's gonna be a gangbuster of a summer.
Yeah, man.
Dating back to the 1700s, Washington Street has been, and continues to be, the collective main thoroughfare in town.
You're taking me to all the hot spots.
I am trying to.
Featuring a vast collection of independently owned storefronts selling anything from diamonds at Queen May Jewelry,
diamond viewing is hard work,
and chocolates at Luisa's Cafe. T-shirts, art, and accessories.
I mean, I'm usually a cheetah print, but I can do leopard today.
Everything here on this pedestrian walkway coalesces around community, which is on display at Lindsay Givens' eclectic store, Givens.
I actually grew up in Cape May.
You grew up here?
Yes.
As well as clothing shop Galvanic, owned by Ryan and Sam Platzer.
He's a native.
Okay.
I've lived here for 10 years.
I'm gonna have a whole new wardrobe by the time I get home.
It's absolutely a community feel, and I feel like especially in the last 10 years as Cape May has kind of been on the rise, you know. It's a rising tide that's raised all the ships, and it's really wonderful.
One of my favorite quotes. And it works. I mean, we're in like a beach town.
And just off the white sands, not 2 blocks walk from Washington Street, is a Cape May classic provided by Bruce Carlino's Hot Dog Tommy's.
What is the must-have here at Hot Dog Tommy's?
The chili and cheese is the most popular. And this mashugana dog I have is very, very popular. So that's with my secret sauce. It has 9 ingredients with no ketchup.
You're not going to go wrong with either one.
We're going to have to do another loop around the town to burn these things off.
Once you've biked and strolled, shopped, dined, and laid out, nothing sends you off like sipping on some absolutely stellar suds, courtesy of Cape May Brewing Company and its owner, Ryan Krill.
Cape May Brewing Company, I mean, you have the name of Cape May on the title of your can. That's kind of a lot to live up to, is it not?
It is. You know what? When we started, it was just really naive ambition. We didn't know what we were doing. It was actually just this unit right here. That's crazy to see it scale up to this huge space now. And then 10 years later, we're the biggest brewery in New Jersey.
And the other thing he's done by putting Cape May on the masthead and becoming New Jersey's premier beer is he's really showcased Cape May for the whole state, which is great for us.
We're really trying to tell the story of Cape May, and what makes Cape May special, it's not the beach, it's not the bay, it's not the lighthouse, it's really the nostalgia that surrounds vacation.
Yeah.
So really that's what we try to emulate. Even with our logo, it has this kind of windswept feel, taking you to a place that is not home. And I think Curtis does a wonderful job of that at his restaurants and hotels, and we try to do the same in a can.
Cheers to just another day in Cape May.
All right.
Cheers.
Wow, impressive. Impressive.
And so too is this amazing state of New Jersey. Not just to explore, but to plant roots, to learn and develop, inspire, thrive, and above all, to live.
Did you get the whole thing?
The whole thing.
No way.
Oh,
One shot, boy.
throw. That's a wrap.
That is a wrap.